Hello guys, in this video we will look into one new topic, one new subtopic. It is about specific heat capacity, capacity, specific heat capacity. So before this we had looked into the heat capacity, before this we had looked into heat capacity. So what is the difference between this one, So this one we just add the word specific, So we have heat capacity before this, and now we have specific heat capacity. So from its word, you know that it should be more specific, and how it can be said that it is more specific. So the specific heat capacity of a material is defined as the amount of heat required to change the temperature of 1 kilogram of substance through a temperature of 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin or 1 unit of temperature. 1 unit of temperature, either degree Celsius or Kelvin. So if you compare with heat capacity before this, we just have, so what is heat capacity? It's just the amount of heat required to to change the 1 degree Celsius or to change the temperature of the substance to by 1, sorry, no degree, 1 Kelvin, So this is heat capacity. What about specific heat capacity? Specific heat capacity is also the heat required, or the amount of energy, in terms of heat, heat required. Same thing, what they want to do with this amount of heat, they want to change 1 degree Celsius or change the temperature by 1 Kelvin, but to be more specific, for just only 1 kilogram. So that is the difference between specific heat capacity and heat capacity. If you look into heat capacity, it uh, it related to its mass. The larger the mass, the larger the heat capacity. But this one, specific heat capacity, it does not related to mass, because the mass is already fixed here, 1 kilogram. So specific heat capacity will be different, depends on materials. Depends on materials. Later we will look into it. The SI unit for C. So before that, the symbol for specific heat capacity is C, small c. But heat capacity we use capital C. So that is the difference. So SI unit for heat capacity we have the amount of energy, joule, to raise 1 degree Celsius, joule per degree Celsius, or joule per Kelvin, or we can write it as joule per degree Celsius or joule per Kelvin. So for specific heat capacity, we have another physical quantity here, which is the mass, 1 kilogram. So that means it is the amount of heat required, to change 1 degree Celsius of 1 kilogram of substance. Or we can use the amount of heat required to change the temperature by 1 degree Celsius of 1 Kelvin. Or we can write it as joule, J, kg minus 1, degree Celsius minus 1. Or for Kelvin, we can write it as joule, kg minus 1, Kelvin minus 1. So this is the difference between specific heat capacity and heat capacity. So the specific heat capacity depends on the type of material, just like I said before, and not depends on mass of material, because the mass is already fixed at 1 kilogram. For example, the specific heat capacity of water, if you have water, let me remove this one first. Okay, so for water, for water, the specific heat capacity, small c, C for water is equals to 4200 joule kg minus 1 degree Celsius minus 1. So what does it mean if you have this information? Okay, so if we have this information, we know that for water, if we have 1 kilogram of water, 1 kilogram of water, and we want to change its temperature by 1 degree Celsius. Let's say you want to change from 20 to 21 degrees Celsius. So here we have 1 kilogram, and this one we have changed by 1 degree Celsius. So based on this information, we can get the amount of heat required, okay, that we need to supply to the substance to change its temperature. So it should be equals to 4200 joule. Okay, because we have 1 kilogram substance, and then we want to change the temperature by 1 degree Celsius. And if we look into aluminium, okay, another example, if we look into aluminium, so given aluminium, the C, small c for aluminium is equals to 900 joule per kilogram for change in 1 degree Celsius per kilogram. Okay, so if we have 1 kilogram of aluminium, okay, 1 kilogram of aluminium, and we want to change the temperature from 20 to 21. Okay, let's take the same number of temperature. That means there is 1 degree Celsius change. Okay, so we want to change it. So what is the amount of heat required? So the amount of heat required based on this information is 900 joule. Okay, now we have two kind of information. So from this information, what can you conclude? Okay, what can we conclude here is, as you can see here, although we have the same amount of mass and the same difference of temperature, but the amount of heat required is different. Okay, for aluminium, we just only need 900 joule. Okay, compared to water, we need until 4200 joule just to reach the same amount of substance with the same raise in temperature. Okay, so which one is easier to change the temperature? So we can conclude that aluminium change temperature easier. Okay, easier. It just need 900 joule to change 1 degree Celsius. But for water, it require 4200 joule to change its temperature. So another conclusion is, if you compare with the number here, with the number or the specific heat capacity given here, okay. So if the substance has a lower specific heat capacity, okay, if the substance has the lower specific heat capacity, that means it is easier to change its temperature compared to the other one which has the higher specific heat capacity. Okay, lower, easy to become hot or to become cool. But if the C is higher, okay, it is hard to change its temperature, either to become hot or to become cold. Okay. Okay, let's look back into our notes here. The specific, okay. So the specific heat capacity of 5 kilogram of water same as the specific heat capacity of 10 kilogram of water. Okay, although we change the mass, the C is always for 4200 joule. Okay, although we have 5 kilogram of water, yeah, of water. So what will be the value of C? Okay, C is the same, 4200. Okay, but heat capacity will be different because heat capacity depends on its mass, but specific heat capacity does not depends on its mass. Okay, substance having a small specific capacity, okay, as I said before, can be quickly heated. It also experiences a big change in temperature even though only small amount of heat is supplied. Okay, just like we had discussed before. So I think that's it. That is all about specific heat capacity. I hope you can understand this one. And maybe later we try to show you how can we prove it by calculation, or how we can solve calculation involved in the specific heat capacity, so that you can understand better. Okay, that's all for this session. Thank you.